Madam Speaker, the whole world is watching what takes place in Copenhagen, Denmark, last week, this week. All the talk is about climate change and man-made climate, how man is affecting the climate. But what we need in this world is a climate change in Iran. That's right, we need to change the atmosphere in Iran with what's taken place with the little man from the desert, Ahmadinejad. Last week and even this week, thousands of students, and here's a photograph of some of them, have taken to the streets to protest the regime of Ahmadinejad, how oppressive it is. They're complaining in this peaceful protest against the tyranny against the people of Iran. And not only Ahmadinejad, but they're protesting the radical mullahs and the Iranian military. You see, these young people want what everybody throughout the world wants: freedom. Somewhere down in the way that we're made, there is this spark, there is this flame of freedom. And the people in Iran don't have that. And so the young people have taken to the streets, the sons of Iran, the daughters of democracy, and protesting the oppressive government. They're protesting the fraudulent elections that got Ahmadinejad elected last summer. They're protesting the fact that they have no freedom in their own country. And they have suffered the consequences for these protests. They have been beaten, they have been tear gassed, they've been hauled off to jail. The press has been oppressed as well. In fact, what has occurred, the internet has been closed, cell phones have been blocked, all in the name of preventing young people and others from protesting this oppressive regime. We all remember this past summer how numerous students were murdered in the streets just because they complained to their government about what was taking place. Already, 80 of those protesters, political prisoners, have been tried by the Star Chamber in secret, away from anybody in a public trial, and 80 of them have received sentences in an Iranian prison of 15 years or more. 5 of them have received a sentence of the death penalty. Why? What is their crime? Their crime was objecting to the oppression of their own government, and for that they are punished. And of course, others have been shot in the streets just because they have taken to the streets to protest their government. You know, the students aren't the only ones that have been arrested. Journalists have been arrested. Clerics who call themselves reform clerics, and other people. All for the same reason. They object to their government. They object to what has taken place. And the government, by blocking the cell phones and the internet access, had hoped to keep the word out to the rest of the world about this pollution, this horrible climate in Iran, but the word has gotten out. Photographs such as this one here. And here's another one. A young Iranian student having been beaten for taking to the streets to protest his government last week. This one also escaped the controlled press of the Iranian government. You know, Iran violates its own constitution by not allowing its people to protest and lawfully assemble. They are standing for basic human rights. That's right, the right to peaceably assemble and object to your government, what it's doing to you. The right of free speech, basic human right. The right of a free press, a right we take for granted in this country. And so we need a regime change in Iran. And the way to do that is to help these young people and the people who want to change their regime and support them. This country should support them in any way that we can. Yes, President Ahmadinejad is the pollution of the world, and we need a change of climate in Iran. The students are sending a message to Iran's rogue government that you can beat us, you can arrest us, you can imprison us, but you will not stop us, you will not intimidate us, because we are not going away. And good for them. We should be proud of those students, we should support them, and we should have a climate change in Iran. And that's just the way it is. I yield back.